Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, there's so much that goes into being successful when you go fishing. There's so many lures available today that you want to have this and you want to have that. But when it really comes down to going fishing, I think it's almost imperative that we try to keep it as simple as possible. I remember all the years that I was doing my TV show, Rod and Reel Streamside, and Quebec Tourism was one of our sponsors, and they were sending me to places way up in the top of our continent. And if I would go down in the Everglades or out to Montana, all these places I would go, you couldn't take a lot of stuff. So we would keep it really simple. I'd take off on a float plane up into the Arctic. I didn't have a whole bunch. You can't take weight. You can't do it. So it'd be just a few basic lures that I had confidence in, that I know had worked for me in the past, that were my go-to things. And I think a lot of times that's important, even now when we go fishing. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to wade one of these tributaries, or I'm going to wade one of the bays along the St. Lawrence River, I can't take a big tackle box with me. I can't take all kinds of stuff. So I've got to think, okay, what is the one lure that I have so much faith in that I think is going to outperform the others? It may on this particular day not have been the best choice, but if it's something that I know has worked over and over again, that's what I'm going to choose. And I think sometimes it's really important to keep that simplicity in your mind, because I think it can add to the not only the success, but the enjoyment of when you're out there. I know my buddy Rust, a lot of times we'll go out in the canoe and we'll go to places, and I'll have all these different lures that I want to experiment with and use, and not Rust. He's got his couple go-tos, and that's what makes it fun for him. He doesn't weigh himself down, and I don't mean this specifically as much as figuratively, but he doesn't want to weigh himself down with all this other stuff. I'm going to go out, I'm going to use what I like to use, what I know works. The color pink is great, and this is what I do. So, I've thought of something else along with this. I remember going way back, and believe me, I can go back in time because I've had a lot of incredible experiences. But when I was younger, and I've said this so many times, we didn't have this tremendous variety of lures. We'd have something that worked all the time. And I remember just before I went in the Navy, it was the Abu spinner. It was made in Sweden or Norway, and it was a colored spinner, came in different colors, and it had pour hooks on it and feathers on the hook. And by golly, no matter whether you went to Maine or where you went, that seemed to be the number one choice for catching bass. Now today it's drop shots and tubes and everything else, but it was that Abu spinner. Then stepping way forward in years, when I would go into some of the Canadian places I would go to, and I came to know groups of people that would come back to these same places every year. And this one group would come from California, and they were avid bass fishermen. They would use only one thing. And in today's world, we would laugh at it. We would think, oh my goodness, how simple. They would use what was called a sassy shad. And they were little soft plastic fat lures with, I believe, if I remember right, a paddle tail. And we got away from all that as soft plastics became more creature-like and more, all the specifics that we try to go to and I talk about all the time. But again, keeping it simple has always worked from way back years ago to now, and it may be a good tool to keep in our bag to make our fishing better. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.